Hi folks, if you're watching this video, this is the additional video that goes with lesson 3. And this is only if you want to listen to the student model that has been assigned to you on your team's assignment. You do not have to watch this if you're happy to just read it to yourself. Forgive me as well, there are a couple of words that I'm hoping I'm pronouncing correctly, but if you're ever unsure, remember you could always look it up and then tell me if you think I got it wrong. The climb. I have this fear. It causes my legs to shake. I break out in a cold sweat. I start jabbering to anyone who is nearby. As thoughts of certain death run through my mind, the whole world appears as a precious, treasured place. I imagine my own funeral, then shrink back at the implications of where my thoughts are taking me. My stomach feels strange. My palms are clammy. I am terrified of heights. Of course, it's not really a fear of being in a high place. Rather, it is the view of a long way to fall, of rocks far below me and no firm wall between me and the edge. My sense of security is screamingly absent. There are no guardrails, flimsy though I picture them, or other safety devices. I can rely only on my own sure-footedness, or lack thereof. Despite my fear, 2 summers ago I somehow found myself climbing to a high place while quaking inside and out. Most of our high school had come along on a day trip to the Boquerón, a gorgeous, lush spot in the foothills of Peru. Its prime attraction is the main waterfall, about 100 feet high, that thunders into a crystal clear pool feeding the Aguacia River. All around the pool and on down to the rushing river are boulders large and small. The beach is strewn with rocks. On both sides of the fall, the jungle stretches to meet it, rising parallel to it on a gentler slope. After eating our sack lunches within sight and sound of the fall, many of us wanted to make the climb to an area above it. We knew others had done so on previous trips. A few guys went first to make sure they were on the right path, but after they left, my group of 7 decided to go ahead without waiting for them to return. I suspected we were going the wrong way, but I kept silent, figuring that the others knew better. We went along the base of the hill until we reached the climb. It stopped me in my tracks. The climb ascended steeply above us. Along the right edge, the jungle hugged the rocks. Passing through its trees did not look feasible. The majority of my view was filled with rocks. Looming high to the sky, the boulders rose in a tiered manner. Peering back down toward the river, I saw a steep slope of rocks all the way to the water. All I could think about was how far it would be to fall. My tense thoughts were interrupted by the realization that my friends were already beginning to climb. My anxiety increased as I watched them. Do I turn back? My whole being shouted, yes! Will I regret it later? I really want to get to the top, but... I really want to get to the top, but... I voiced my uncertainties to my friends. They dismissed my fears and encouraged me to stick it out. Questioning my own sanity, I decided at least to attempt the climb. I chose a path that seemed easiest. My friend Tom was ahead of me. Then, suddenly, he slipped and slid backward about 10 feet. I watched, paralysed, until he stopped himself and assured us he was all right. My heart was hammering. Now those who had tried the other way came back. It had not worked. Consoling myself that my friend Seth would be right behind me, I shakily began the ascent. The path led up a narrow area between boulders. In it, we reached a place where there just were no good handrails. Seth braced my foot, and those above sent down words of encouragement. I was soon past the first challenge safely, but not feeling much better about the rest of the climb. The difficulties only increased from that point on, with scary spot after scary spot. Though I knew I should not look down, I could not always ignore the long drop to the boulders below. My breathing sped up, but my heart pounded even faster, growing loud in my ears. My friends kept right on climbing, but they did not forget me. Someone was always behind me to help hold my feet steady when necessary, and someone else was always ahead to offer a hand up. I trusted them more than myself. I knew my feet could easily slip. With friends supporting me by words and actions, I slowly gained ground. Finally, we came to the worst section yet. To me, the slope looked very close to vertical. The slight handholds were few and far between. Being short, I knew the stretches would be difficult enough in normal circumstances. In my current panic, it would be much worse. The alternative was to go back down. Which was more difficult? I didn't want to go either way, but obviously I had to go somewhere. The trouble was, we were not getting any nearer to the falls. By now we realised that the route was not the way most had frequented, but knowing this did not get me any closer to safety. Since getting up this next part was next to impossible, and waiting for a rescue helicopter was not an option, with fear and trembling I decided to go down, but not by myself. Melody agreed to go with me, earning my eternal gratitude. She paused to pray for safety. I did not trust my voice enough to pray aloud. Now, with our backs to the rocks, the drop was continually in our line of vision. It seemed even steeper than before. The song Angels Watching Over Me ran through my head as we began, Melody going first. I kept up a steady stream of chatter, my trembling voice betraying my fear. One of the first tough places we came to gave us trouble. Cautiously stretching 1 foot down, Melody could not reach the bottom of the boulder. A slip would mean an extremely long drop. So we tried a different route where a fall would be shorter. It was somewhat wet and would entail a short slide to reach to the bottom. Melody made it safely. I hesitated, unsure of my footing, and pictured myself at the bottom of the cliff, bones broken and pain racking my body if I still lived. You can do it, I'm right here, Melody called. She waited patiently, not pressuring me to hurry. Inching carefully to the edge, I could see in the corner of my eye the boulders and river far below. As I started down the rock, my foot slipped. My heart jumped into my throat as the terror I had held just under the surface swept over me. I'm going to fall, I inwardly shrieked. It had only been a small slip, however. I was not in midair. I took a few calming breaths, and my heart repositioned itself where it belonged. With no further mishaps, we came eventually to the last troublesome spot, the stretch between 2 boulders that had given me the problems on the way up. Thankfully, the rest of our friends had given up climbing to the top and had now caught up to us. There were 2 possible descents from here. One way included a short dump down. I decided to check out the other way. Seth was working his way down this second route when he fell a few feet and bruised himself. I again looked over the first option. Do I want to jump? There's a big drop if I jump wrong or don't stop on the ledge. But the other way? I knew if I was to get down, it would have to be Seth's way. He was willing to help me however he could. I inspected the path he had taken. There was some low vegetation matted down and sloping slightly toward the edge. Then came a drop down to a narrow inlet between rocks. That was not so bad. The hitch lay in the fact that there was no handholds or footholds, and my short legs would not reach to the rocks. I don't know about this. I don't like the looks of it, I said, my voice quavering. You can make it, Amy. I'm right here. I won't let you fall, Seth promised. Slowly, painstakingly, I backed over the vegetation. I'm coming down, I warned, my voice unsteady. I'm ready, answered Seth. I got you. His assurances gave me the strength to go on. I trusted him implicitly. Flattening myself onto my belly, I edged my feet into midair. Seth held them tightly and slowly lowered me, guiding my feel to a firm place as I let my body slide over the leaves, twigs, and rock. When my feet made contact with the solid rock, I heaved a huge sigh of relief. I could feel the fear draining out of me. My arms and legs were stretched up. I was dirty and sweaty, but none of it mattered. I was at the bottom. Yeah, I yelled. I had never felt so alive and so thankful for that life.